Alright guys, part 2 of making a selection. So you can see here I have gotten all of my 5 pieces separated onto their own layers, and again I've turned off the background layers so you can see those individual pieces on the layers. You can also see that I've renamed all of the items on my in my layers palette here, okay? So you can see I've got the sticker, the tomato, olives, lettuce, and the cutting board. So how do you change the name of something? Well, pretty easy here. You can see I made a mistake in my cutting board layer, so I want to fix that. So I'm going to just double click on the name, and it brings up my text editor, and I want to give my capital C to the cutting board there. Okay, so I've made my change, or you can change the name from layer 1 to whatever you'd like it to be, or layer 2, 3, 4, so on. Once you get it done, hit enter and it will save that name change for you. Okay, so again, I like to name them because it makes things a lot easier for me to find as I'm working. Okay, so I've got all my layers named now and I'm ready to go. So let's look at how we're going to get the pepper and the carrot here. We're going to use a different tool to get these two items onto their own layers. Okay, so first for this one, this is a little bit more of a finesse tool, so we need to zoom in a little bit to be a little bit closer so we can go around and select that pepper. Okay, so to do that, if you have a mouse or you're using an external mouse, if you hold the Alt key on the keyboard and use the scroll wheel on the mouse, you can zoom in and out. Okay. If you aren't using a external mouse and you're using the trackpad on a Chromebook or a laptop, you can come down and you can use the zoom tool. It's right down here at the bottom of your toolbar. And again, if you just click, you can zoom in. Now to zoom out, you have to hold the Alt key and you can click and you can zoom out. Okay, so get yourself zoomed in a little bit. Oop, a little too far. And now what I want to do is I want to pan. Okay, so I'm going to get off the zoom tool here by just clicking on the little arrow, and then now I can just push the space bar and you'll get the little hand and you can pan around and move. So hold the space bar and click the mouse and drag your screen around and you can pan around inside to see all of that stuff as you're zoomed in like that. Alright, so get yourself orientated like me, zoomed in real nice so you can see the whole pepper and you're nice and in the middle. Okay, so now that you're there, we want to make sure that we are on our background layer here. So we'll click on our background layer, and I'm going to go now to a new tool, which is the third one down. Click and hold and go to the Magnetic Lasso. Okay, so I'm going to click on that one. And for this, what we're going to do is we're going to try and stay as close as we can and trace around the outside of our pepper. Okay, and the cool part about this tool is that since it has that magnetic part to it, it's going to see the color difference between yellow and this gray background, or the green in this gray background. And it's going to want to keep our selection real nice and tight to the edge. Okay, so all I'm going to do is click once right on the edge of that pepper here and drag a little bit, and you're going to see the tool start to work. And all I'm going to do is just kind of go around, and I'm trying to stay as nice and as close to the edge as I can. Okay, if you get away a little bit, it will want to like snap back and stick to the edge of the pepper. Okay, but try and keep as close as you can. You're going to get the best selection possible. So here we go. I'm just going around, and now I'm going to come back to the very first spot I started with, and I'm going to click again, and you're going to see it gives me a selection all the way around my pepper. Now that I have that selection, I can go up to Edit, Copy, whoops, wrong one, Undo, Control Z, or Undo, Edit, Undo. Come down to Copy. We don't want to cut, we want to copy. So I copied that pepper, and now I'm going to say Paste. And you can see here I've got the pepper on its own layer. Okay, so I can double click on the name, I can change that quick, and I can say enter, and we've got that changed. Alright, so one more tip here before I let you try is if the magnetic lasso gets a little out of control, like you get all the way up here, let me start another one here, and it gets way up here and it gets out of control, all you have to do is, you got this, it's all over the place, and you're trying to figure out how to get this to stop, and it's way out of the way, it's not where you need it. So what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of double click, and it's going to make some selection here, and you can see that's not what you want. So once you have that, you're going to go up to select, deselect. And that's going to get rid of that selection that you made that you don't want. Now you kind of get yourself back in order, and then you can start over again. So you're on your magnetic lasso, and we can click once. Again, don't hold the mouse, just click once and let go. And then we can start to go around. We can get this pepper as we go all the way around. And you can make a much nicer selection and get what you want selected. Selected. Come back to the first dot, click, and you've got your selection. Copy, paste, and you'll be ready to go.